tonight's episode of the Sunday Night Talk for week 14 in the NFL. That's right, it's week 14. So many weeks. Omar Carmona joins me. We talk all things in the NFL. We recorded this right after the Dallas-Philly game, so there's a lot to discuss. A lot of changes went on in the NFL. A lot of surprises, too. Before we get to the episode, I put up a new Running It Back interview last Tuesday. Interviewed Misha Paulin, comedian here in LA. Go check it out. A lot of views on this one, so people enjoy it. And I got more coming, too. Today in the NFL, Dallas surges. Philly question marks. Offsides on Kansas City receiver? We discuss it all, not to mention the shootout that was the Vegas Minnesota. Oh, wait, no, it wasn't. It was 0-0 in the fourth quarter. We'll talk about it all. The Sunday Night Talk right now. All right, it is Sunday. That means it's time for the Sunday Night Talk. It is 8:34 on the West Coast. Dallas just finished thumping the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't know if I saw a thumping of this caliber when I started this Sunday night game. Omar Carmona joins me via audio. If you watch this.
Audio. Sorry about that. I'm just under the weather tonight.
Well, you're toughing it out because you're still like, I'll just be there. I'll just be on audio. So if you're watching this, you're just seeing Omar's picture in the box. But if you're hearing this, it's going to be no different because we're both here. We're both ready for another night of Sunday Night Talk. Omar's going to
a lot to unpack.
Well, like we found out, everybody seems to get injured in the NFL, and apparently on the Sunday Night Talk, we get injured too.
Hey, it happens. It happens.
It happens.
But the show must go on, right?
Right. Well, it's week 14. It's 14, right? Is it week 14 or week 37? I don't even know anymore. It's a lot of weeks.
But we're winding down. Every game from here on out is a must-win.
Let me start with this question right now after watching this Sunday night game. Who's your top three for MVP right now, Omar?
Okay. I'm going to go number one, Brock Purdy. Okay. Just the efficiency in running the most, I'm not saying he's the most talented, but you're saying the most valuable. His efficiency in the San Francisco offense is winning football games. Number two, I want to say Tyreek, but I got to give it to Tua, his quarterback, because Tua's making some great decisions, and I think from a value level, I think is Tyreek the most electrifying? Yes, but I'm going to give the most valuable. It's got to be his quarterback, and then three, Dak Prescott.
Yeah, so you got Tyreek, Tua, Dak, and Purdy. I mean, I asked you for three, you gave me four. I like that. Well, maybe we can be a Tua. Can they split an MVP, Tua and Tyreek?
No, and that's what I said. I said I think I'm gonna. It's either Tyreek or Tua in number two. So I'm gonna give it to the quarterback.
Okay. Do you have Lamar in there at all? Because my top three after tonight, I got Dak, Purdy, and Lamar. And it's weird how we're not having a lot of Purdy MVP talk. Maybe it's starting now, but today he was like a bullseye today. Like those throws were on target. And why do you think we haven't talked about him at all as an MVP candidate?
Because he's not, there's so many weapons on that 49ers offense. It's very easy to get lost. What you appreciate about the Kyle Shanahan offense is that, players can have an off day. Their superstars can have an off day, and the other guys are going to pick up the slack. If you have Kittle's numbers from today, I just didn't see. I saw mostly McCaffrey running wild and Debo having a great game.
Yeah, he may actually be just hurt by just the amount of talent that's on that team.
Exactly. And then
There's so
you
much.
throw in they may have the best linebacker in the league in Fred Warner. They must be, they have the best uh maybe possibly the best edge rush in Bosa. And so it's that's a lot of superstars. Those are a lot of
Yeah.
superstars. So, but I think valuable Purdy is because it's got to go through him. We saw that team fail in Philadelphia without him.
Yeah.
Okay, so and this same team is saying we would have whooped your asses had we had Brock Purdy, and they're proving that to be true. Therefore, Brock Purdy is the most valuable player in the NFL right now.
How come you didn't include Lamar?
I don't have all the confidence in the world in him to win yet in January. I know this is a regular season uh, trophy, but I think that I just don't have all the faith in the world in Lamar, whereas the valuable player has to have that amount of faith.
Yeah, I think Dak, this is the best we've ever seen Dak tonight. We'll get to his game later, but just as far as like the running, the throwing, like the accurate, this is the most accurate we've ever seen him. And the decision making, like Collinsworth kept gushing over it all game long. Like he puts that second foot in the ground and he throws like it's like he discovered football, Mike. He discovered new like Dak is like this is he is I think he might be my front runner for the MVP. And part of it is Sunday night game counts as two games, but this was a quality win against a good team, a team that beat them handily 3 weeks ago. And he did it on the big stage. I think Dak's my front runner today. Who's your front runner? Is it still Purdy?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Because Dak could not beat the Niners.
Right, and their remaining schedule is tough. The Philly remaining schedule is easy, although just this leads me into my next overall question for the week is you can't really bank on any wins. I don't care if you have the Giants twice in the next 3 weeks. I'm not chalking those off as wins because ultimately there is so much parity in the league this year. So is all this parity exciting or is it actually frustrating at this point, so many weeks in?
Do you think there's parity? I mean, I'm thinking the Super Bowl champion is going to be between the Cowboys, Eagles, and the 49ers. I
I think that I think that I just think there's going into the home stretch where you think, okay, we're going to go 4-1 the next 5 weeks. Oh no, you're not. You're going to lose to Tennessee probably. Like I just think there's these games you think that they're going to win, and they end up being tough
are
games.
going to be some are going to be some trap games. I'm not exactly I'm a little believe it or not, I'm afraid of a letdown, a 49er letdown in Arizona next weekend.
Yeah.
And well, all of a sudden the Broncos are playing inspired football, then and
the Broncos, oh my God, the Broncos should get an award for something this year.
How is it that Joe Flacco is now from the couch to the, to the quarterback, the starting quarterback in Cleveland? And so anything can happen. There are some trap games. Dallas has a tough road ahead. They got Buffalo and Miami next. That's tough, especially considering that Buffalo just beat Kansas City at home, which is what I think, or I think we should start these conversations.
Yeah, I think let's start there. I think that is the lead story. And then close second is this Dallas win. Ultimately, I think whoever's going to win the Super Bowl is whoever can win 2 games in a row in this regular season home stretch. Because like we haven't seen teams really just step on the gas. KC has now lost like 2 really rough games in a row. Detroit can't beat Chicago today. Minnesota, who we thought was good, just barely squeaks out against the Raiders. Denver, they might win the division, Omar. Denver was over and done. We wanted Russell Wilson bench. We want Sean Payton to quit. Denver is 1 game back from Kansas City. It's unbelievable how the season has turned. And they look good. These aren't like Pittsburgh wins. These are like that guy, that one pass Wilson had to Sutton today where the guy is interfering on him and Sutton just catches it with one hand. Like, I don't think there's
Yeah,
anybody who can guard Sutton.
no, it's impressive. Um, and you got to hand it to Sean Payton. Great coaches.
Yeah.
They figure out a way to manage the talent that they have. And that's what Sean Payton's doing.
I really can't wait to hear some sort of like oral history after the season is over to hear like what they actually did to turn this around. Like what happened? Did Russell Wilson have a players only meeting or did Sean Payton say like, "Hey guys, I don't need this." Like how did they turn this around? Because I know you can't give a comeback player of the year award for the same season. It has to be for last year. But I think if you could give a comeback award this year, it would have to be the Denver Broncos. They were horrible. And all of a sudden, not only are they in the playoff hunt, they might win the division against the defending champs are in their division. I can't believe this Denver. I almost feel like we're not talking about it enough, but I think we're going to start now. I don't know the remainder of their schedule, but they look good. They play really, really well, and they have weapons. And Russell Wilson looks good. He looks like old Russ.
All right, let's do it.
All right, well, let's start with the Sunday games. Lead story is this Buffalo at Kansas City game. The game.
Are you calling that penalty? Do you call that penalty? This is the only conversation we're having about this game. Are you calling that penalty?
So you're asking. Well, what is your question? Are you asking? Do you not call the penalty?
If you're the referee, are you calling that penalty?
Well, they show in the replay. It's very obvious that he's over the line, and if you notice, when receivers run to the line, have you ever seen the receivers point to the sideline official? They're pointing to ask the official if where they're lined up is onside or not. And the official will nod their head or they'll give them a little like scoot up, scoot back. He did not check with the official. And then therefore they called it. I don't know what Kansas City's beef is other than it negated maybe the most awesome play in 10 years. That play was amazing. We have so many things to talk about. We have the offsides penalty to talk about, the bonehead play of him lining up sides, the question of if they call it or not, and then the fact that Kelsey, did he plan that? Did they not plan that? Like that needs to be discussed too. So I think it's a bummer that I think it's just a bummer that he lined up offsides. You have to call it. He's offsides. I don't know what to tell you.
It was just a bummer to lose that way. But again, Kansas City has bigger problems, I think, than just worried about that one that officiated play. They just were not effective offensively today.
They really aren't. They have lost the Kansas City mystique that we just associated with them. When Mahomes got the ball back, if Mahomes got the ball back with, what did they have left on the clock? It was like almost 2 minutes, a little under 2.
145, something like that.
145. If Mahomes got the ball back a year ago, you would have been like, oh, done deal. They're going down the field. I don't feel that way about Mahomes this year.
2-3 years ago, Mahomes can put up 2 touchdowns in that window.
He did it in that 12 seconds game. The KC shine is really gone. Like they're not like this big play threat, at least not this year. And like
now,
all the complaining about the call, like I get it, but the guy was offsides. I don't know what to tell you.
What did you think about Mahomes talking to Josh Allen during the congratulations? He's complaining about the refereeing to Josh Allen.
I think that's the other thing. Yeah, with this team this year, it's like they're frustrated with each other. That was Mahomes goes full on WWF on the sidelines and wants to tackle the referee. I've never seen Mahomes like that.
No, I think that was a power move. I think what he's telling everybody is that it needs to be a referee that cost us this game. I don't think he wanted Josh Allen to walk out with anything, basically saying you did not beat me. The referees did.
Yeah, and I think this is a bad look for Mahomes. Like I have this sneaky feeling that we're all going to turn on Mahomes. Like remember when we all loved Kobe and then he turned into hero ball Kobe and then he became a villain? the second, like the
Look,
last little bit of his career. Like, I wonder if that's what's going to happen with Mahomes now.
look, the
He
way
was like doing the like
Jacksonville,
cry yell, like when you're a little kid and you get pissed off and you're mad, but you're also crying. He was doing that thing on the sidelines. It was weird.
Mahomes, the Mahomes brothers, the wife, the Kelsey and Taylor Swift, Fat Andy Reid.
Hmm.
This is a team that they are. It's an attitude, and they're divisive. I mean, they're polarizing. You either love them or you hate them. And I think they now are going to start getting that. Now that they're complaining and getting upset at people, I think they're going to start playing that bad guy role.
I think that's very, very possible because they're like they've won their championships. They've won two. They're the big kids on the block. Everything they do is supposed to be awesome. And now they're I mean, they're in the division lead, but they're a mediocre team. And it feels like they're being pulled apart at the seams right now. Like it's going to be a real test of where the leadership is. If they go down 10 next week, are they going to just totally lose it? Is Mahomes going to lose it on the sideline on his teammates? Like, remember when
He
Brady
could.
would lose it against his coach on the
Yep.
sideline or something like that? And we'd be like, oh, there's trouble in New England. Brady's got a big head. Like remember we flipped on Brady and the Patriots like that third or fourth year. We're like, oh, they're cheating. They're cheaters. Like the public will flip. I wonder if KC is now at the doorstep of that because that was ugly. Like I thought Mahomes was gonna hit the referee. I really do. They were holding him back. I was like, I never seen Mahomes like this. Unbelievable. And like, let's just talk about the play. Kelsey has the presence of mind to not only lateral it, but throw a perfect spiral across like what was that, like a 25-yard lateral? Perfectly
I
in
think,
the chest and he runs into the oh, that was such an awesome play.
and to close, that would have been such a fitting tribute to the passing of Frank Wycheck.
Right, who passed away. I just saw the headline right now that he passed away 52 years old. Very strange, very mysteriously. Just
Obviously,
eh,
it looks like he fell, and they didn't find him till later, and apparently he
yeah,
hit his head. So always,
Jesus.
I mean, the lesson probably, if you're ever at home alone, probably don't want to be doing too much at this age. Any sort of manual
This
labor. We're
age,
getting old,
52.
man.
52 is
I
not
mean,
old.
he's no, that's what I'm. Well, Patrick, I'm waking up almost every hour to pee now, and I'm 42. It's old, okay?
Jeez, Omar. Well, don't hit your head. All right, please be careful out there. Maybe you
but
should
but
wear a helmet.
but
It's
no, no.
unbelievable.
But that would have been, that's terrible news. But anyway, Kansas City lost, and who knows what they're going to be doing. Who's going to come out of the AFC? Uh, Joe Flacco? Is it going to be Is it one of these Browns teams that's going to ride a defense all the way to a Super Bowl? Who knows?
Yeah,
But they beat the Jaguars pretty well.
yeah. And last thing on Buffalo, like I don't even feel like Buffalo's at their full potential in this game. Like they're driving for that last score, and Josh Allen misses a wide open touchdown. But Josh Allen with his legs this week was awesome. It's like they figured out how to run him. Like he always ran, but like they figured out how to do it this week effectively. He was really good. Buffalo's coming on, and that's another team we wrote off a few weeks ago. Like remember the Philly game? What was that, 3 or 4 weeks ago? And we're like, Buffalo's playing for their season. And they lost, and we're like, oh, that's it for Buffalo. And now they're back. Same with Denver, same with Minnesota. Like real quick on Minnesota, since that was the worst game I think we've ever seen. We've come full circle on Dobbs at this point, right? He's the worst quarterback in the league now, right? Jesus, they pull him the last drive, and poor Nick Mullins comes in and gets the game-winning field goal, and they win, and that's it. Wow, did we go quick on Dobbs? That was bad.
We did. We did.
I can't believe that one. The Las Vegas Raiders score 0 points coming off a bye week. they got they got absolutely nothing. Aiden O'Connell is a rookie at quarterback, and their offensive coordinator is essentially a rookie at coordinating offenses too. How else could this go? There's no way. Puka Garoppolo back in at this point. Who cares?
Right? My only thing is this, okay? My only thing is this. Let's not talk about this game. A bottom line is a field goal kicker made a field goal in the last quarter of the game, and that's it. Okay? I was interested in what happened to the old Vegas quarterback. What happened with Derek Carr getting yelled at by his offensive line and in a win?
That's another one where this is just the two partners have gone their separate ways, but their life is still a mess in new cities now. It's it's brutal, that Vegas team. And then if we go New Orleans, who did New Orleans play this week? Carolina. They beat Carolina. They beat them up though, 28-6. I just renamed this game the Bummer Bowl. This is just two whatever teams. Try your best. Carolina's going nowhere. New Orleans most likely is going nowhere, although they'll probably slot into a wild card spot. And just given what this year is, I wouldn't be surprised if they gave whatever high seed they're playing a game and roughed them up a little bit for a half. It would not surprise me.
Interesting.
You know? Well, those were the two bad games. Thank God we got rid of those. Do you want to do the top 8? We got a new top 8 this week.
All right, let's do it.
All right. Well, top 8. I got San Francisco, number 1. Dallas, now number 2. Miami, number 3. Philly, 4. Baltimore, 5. And now we go our outside of the 5. And I got KC, Buffalo, Cincinnati as my 6, 7, 8. And then I gave a number 9 spot for just a bunch of teams that could get in there or not. And I gave the number 9 collectively to Jacksonville, Cleveland, and Green Bay. Now, Miami and Green Bay got to play tomorrow. So we'll see on that. But how about just the top 3? Are you good with San Francisco, Dallas, Miami?
Yes.
Philly, Baltimore, KC.
Yes.
You like that order?
I'm flipping KC and Baltimore.
Even with the KC troubles, you like them over Baltimore?
Even with the KC troubles, I have zero faith in Baltimore this year.
Okay. Where are you on their win today against the Rams? Because I watched that game and I felt like I was watching a playoff game. The speed of the game was
very
quick.
exciting, and the way it ended, Rams suck. So move on.
The Rams were good today, though. Like, did you see Stafford and Kupp and Nakua made more than one, like, awesome diving catch? Somehow Nakua doesn't even wear gloves, which gives me like kind of a cool throwback nostalgia to when like the Webster Slaughters of the back in the day would go no gloves, just bare hands.
I used to love those days.
Yeah. Yeah, the Rams were up for it today, and then Baltimore beats them in overtime on a punt return. So Baltimore put up a lot of points. They gave up a lot of points, gave up 31 points. I thought this was the best game of the day until the Kansas City game. But just as far as a game, I thought this was the best. It felt like a playoff game. Stafford gets hit in the ribs at one point, and he's all injured, and he toughs it out. I think we had peak Lamar today. Lamar was slinging. He wasn't throwing just the jump balls. He was finding receivers.
One of his better games. I'll give him that. But still, again, I'm still just. I don't think they're an elite team. Another team that I think is on the rise, but they threw up an egg. The Texans lost in New York today.
That was another one where it's like, who can win 2 games in a row?
And all of a sudden, Zach Wilson is now a good player.
Zach Wilson's back. How did he get back on the team? I'm very confused. Okay, I'm going to give you 2 stats. I'm going to tell you, if you didn't know before the game, Houston at the Jets, if I told you one quarterback's going to throw for 301 yards and one's going to throw for 91, which quarterbacks would you think that would be? Because it's not who you think it was, Omar. Zach Wilson had 300 yards. CJ Stroud had 91. It's completely
and
bonkers.
With possibly a concussion,
and got roughed up by the Jets. Yeah. I don't know what the Jets are doing. Shouldn't they be trying to lose games? or did they give
You would
away their
think.
draft pick? Yeah,
I
what's
think you're right. I think you're right.
the other?
And then the Bears win. The Bears win in Detroit.
I was gonna
I'm
say we
sorry,
got to do
Detroit win.
Bears.
Sorry, Bears win in Chicago, but against Detroit. And then that
Yep.
Justin Fields all of a sudden talk about another quarterback that we wrote off, and now he's all of a sudden good again.
Justin Fields looked like an all pro today. he he was throwing he's smiling. The smile is back on Justin Fields' face. He had that run to the corner for a touchdown. Goff is fumbling the ball. I don't know what to think about. I don't know what to think about any teams that were good this week, except for, Dallas and San Francisco. Detroit looks like a mess. I don't know
Yeah, I
if
can't
it's like,
figure
oh,
them
it's
out.
cold Goff is fumbling. They put up 13 points. I think Fields was like making the case to play on the Bears next year. He's like, hey, don't trade me
Oh,
away. I'm good. Maybe that's what he was thinking. I don't know, but he was good today.
well, interesting. Something to look out for.
Justin Fields, they have weapons on that team. It seems like they just can't put anything together. And today they did. Fields was good. It was impressive. And now, I mean, what do you think of Detroit? Like this was a rough one for Detroit. I know like
It is.
everybody loses to a bad team this year, but Detroit looked like a mess today. They really, really did.
But
So
and this is
I'm a little
also in the
nervous.
wake of a couple of weeks ago losing to Green Bay on Thanksgiving. So
Lost
they're
Green
going to
Bay.
have some issues, and we'll see what happens to them. I'm not gonna throw. I don't think they're the elite team. Just like Baltimore, I don't think they're an elite team, but they're not a bad team. But again, they they're going to need a home game.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean they're like we have who are our elite teams? Are there really what would you say? San
I want to
Francisco,
say there are.
Dallas,
Um, that's it. I want to say that
that's
those
it?
two, possibly. Oh, I'm sorry, those three: San Francisco, Dallas, Miami. I'm only going
Miami
to say
hasn't
that
beat
because
anybody though.
no, but let me tell you, I think that I think those are the three teams that could win on the road if they have to.
Mm-hmm. San Francisco, Dallas, Miami.
Yeah,
You're taking
Kansas
Philly out
City
of
can
elite?
possibly. Yeah, they have to have a home game.
Mm-hmm.
They won't be. I don't think they're going to be able to win outside of the link.
Okay. Yeah, I mean Philly looked like a mess. That Hurts was not accurate. Like how many weeks ago did we think Hurts was the MVP? And then he went back to regular sad Hurts today, where he's
Yeah,
throwing the ball
that
and Philly could have got in this game a couple times. Dak gives them like the little gimme touchdown fumble. And then Philly's driving, and then the guy fumbles the ball inside the 10. And it's like, oh, okay, we're not going to get close. And
right.
Dallas is kicking 60-yard field goals. I don't I think there's a lot of cracks in Philly's game.
I agree with you on that.
It's strange, and they have an easy schedule to finish up the season. So they're going to be the top seed, most likely. And they're going to have the home field. And when they really, I'm a little worried that Philly loses in the first round, to be honest. Like, who would they play right now? Who would be a seed that would go to them in the NFC? Is it Minnesota? Who's the last seed right now? I'm not sure.
No, they would be playing right now. They'd be playing the second to last. So they would be
Right.
playing, possibly I think maybe a Minnesota, Seattle.
Seattle
I
could
think
rough
that's
them up.
right.
Seattle could. I really that could be a tough one for them. Philly, like, who's your biggest question mark right now? Kansas City or Philly?
Yeah, both. They both have a lot of question marks,
Yeah, they
but
really
I
are,
want to give.
right?
Yeah, so I don't know what's going to happen there.
God, God, Kansas City, and they kept saying it on the broadcast that Kansas City is looking like they're going to have to play their first ever away playoff game. And you're like, oh shit, you're right. Mahomes, they were always home all these years for playoff
Yeah,
games. Now they didn't win them all, like Cincinnati beat them that one year, but like they're going to have to go on the road. This is the most trying season we've ever seen Kansas City have to deal with. And Mahomes
Definitely. This is
wants to beat up referees.
right. So we'll see. Yeah, you're right. You're right there.
Here's one to that we can just do a flyby on. Tampa Bay at Atlanta. I wrote down, I bet this is going to be a fun game. And it was 29-25. Baker Mayfield is just a fun guy, you know?
Yeah, that's going to be probably the most exciting finish to the division because they're all bunched up for the exception of the Panthers.
Yeah. New Orleans is going to be in it. Tampa Bay, Atlanta. They're just all going to be in the ring. It's going to be like a Royal Rumble. Put them all in the
Yep.
ring at the same time, and let's just see who crawls out at the very end. Another one that was, I mean, call it another head scratcher. Indianapolis at Cincinnati. You know what I call Minshew now? We've been trying to figure out what is going on with quarterbacks and backup quarterbacks and quarterbacks signed off the practice squad that are all of a sudden good for 2 weeks. Minshew is like the substitute teacher that everybody likes, but is only good for one semester. Like there's no way he can do a full year. There's no way this substitute can do a whole lesson plan. Minshew is the substitute teacher that's like, all right, man, if we finish early, we're going to watch Air Force One on TV. And everybody's like, I love this guy. That's what Minshew is a substitute teacher because he was
Right.
he was 26 for 39 today, 240 yards, touchdown, one pick. Indianapolis can't run the ball at all. All of a sudden, Jake Browning for the Cincinnati Bengals is like, oh, wait, is that Joe Burrow's back? No, it's Jake Browning. Jake Browning was
Right.
awesome today. Where do they find these guys? Cincinnati wins big, and they're back in the mix here.
Yeah. So
I don't
we'll see
I
what
don't
happens
know.
there too.
What do you
They
think of
could be dangerous,
Cincinnati?
but they could be dangerous, but they have to get hot. Like they can't afford to lose anymore.
Do you think they can beat like a Baltimore, or do you think they can beat a Jacksonville?
No, I really don't. Just because like it's still Browning.
Yeah, like
It's
you got to
not
remember
Burrow.
these are all 1 week. These are one-hit wonders. These quarterback
Right.
performances. The exception being Flacco, who's now put two good weeks together. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Like we have to curb our excitement with these Minshews and these Brownings and these Fields 'cause it's not going to happen next week. If this season has taught us anything, the whole thing is over when the week is over and you have to start over. You don't know who's still going to be good the week after. I'm with you.
Absolutely.
I would say that's fun, Cincinnati, but I don't know if Browning's your guy to take you into the playoffs. But he was good today. I'll give him that.
Mm-hmm.
Battle of the substitute teachers. All right, we talked about Flacco. Jacksonville at Cleveland. You know, I have an idea. What do you think about this? Because we talked about how come no teams don't have a backup that goes right in? You know, Cousins goes out and we're like, they got to find somebody and they get Dobbs and someone goes on, they got to find somebody, you know, like here's an idea because Flacco played so well today. Why not get like a Flacco at the beginning of the season or a Carson Wentz or somebody and you just sign them to like your practice squad and you just tell them, hey man, this is the easiest paycheck you're ever going to make. All you have to do is just be, learn our offense. Like, just keep, like, we're going to keep communicating with you. And if we need you, we're going to call you up. Why don't teams do that with like the Flaccos and the Tannehills or something like, cause like if we need you, like we can't go scrambling for someone and sign them on Tuesday and give him the playbook and hope he can learn it in 4.5 days. But let's keep someone on the practice squad. What do you think of that idea? Like a minor league. Keep them on retainer.
Let's do that. I think that should be in the suggestion box that we talk about so much.
Yeah, like, dude, hey, this is an easy check, man. You can move here. You might not even have to live here, but we're going to be in communication, telling you about the plays and things like that. And when we need you, you got to get here, and we're going to be a step ahead of the game. Why not that? Call them up to the big leagues, but you're just playing minor leagues right now. Because Flacco, they were saying Flacco, like, he would do a Sunday thing with his kids, and the parents would come over and they'd watch games, and then at halftime of the the late game, he puts the kids to bed. But you could use that time to study some games. Why not, right?
Absolutely.
That way you don't have to sign a Josh Dobbs from Arizona.
Ugh.
How surprised were you that Trevor Lawrence not only played but started in this game? Didn't we think his
Hey,
season was over on Monday night?
he's showing me a lot, man. I'll give it to him. He's showing me a lot. He's very talented, and I think he's a good leader.
I think Trevor Lawrence's doctor is showing a lot. What something went on there, whether that was a good tape job or stem cells or God knows what. He didn't seem affected. He was still running the ball. I didn't see a limp. Now he was bad in this game through 3 picks, but I don't think it was due to his ankle. Do you?
No, no, I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I was really surprised that he was playing and starting and looked fine because that injury looked bad. And it's not like it was even Sunday. It was Monday night. He had to get ready in 6 days, and he was fine. And they were in this game. There was a weird part where Jacksonville scores a touchdown. They're down 20-28, and they line up to go for two. And then there's a false start, and they move them back, and they say like, okay, well, let's kick the extra point. I'm like, why are you guys going for two? Does this make any sense?
That was crazy to me. I thought the same thing.
Thank God they didn't really go for two. I'm like, what are you doing? I don't understand this go for two analytics stuff sometimes. And it also makes me think it wouldn't surprise me in like 3 years where we've totally flipped on the analytics, and now the analytics tells you to play conservative the whole time. It's like, well, the analytics tell you the more easy points you get, the closer you are. Like if we're just going to write the analytics, can't we just make them say whatever we want them to say?
Vince Lombardi would be rolling in his grave right now.
You're right. Yeah, he just like, the analytics say on fourth down, punt the ball, play field position. I couldn't believe that. And in my last note on the Browns, 50-yard line logo, they went with the Bob's Big Boy logo. What the hell is this? I never seen that logo before.
Yeah,
Does that bother you? They're making up logos now?
Yeah, not a big fan of that one.
What is that? It's like a kid? I don't know what that was.
It's like a gnome.
What does a gnome have to do with the Browns?
There is a story behind it. I have no clue.
I have no clue. I never heard of it. I don't know what they were talking about there. It's unreal. But I like Flacco now. I think he's the best of the backups. Who are our backups this year? Dobbs, Flacco, Minshew. Who am I leaving out? Trubisky. I guess you could say Aiden O'Connell. He's the worst quarterback in the league, I think. I think Flacco is quickly making a case for, hey, don't forget, guys, I can still sling this ball. He was good today. That fourth down where he checked to the passing play and they scored a touchdown. I like Flacco.
One of the few that can say for a brief moment he was the highest paid player in the league.
Yeah, that's true. He was good on that Ravens team. He perfected the art of, let me throw it deep and it's either going to be caught or I'm going to get a pass interference call.
Right.
He was king of it. All right. Did we talk Dallas, Philly already? Yes, we did. Also, good day for the Dallas kicker. I don't know how much we talked about his history. Maybe Collinsworth and Tirico did all this studying up on the kicker and Dak, the inception of how Dak came up with "Here we go," because it seems like we talked about that for 3/4 of the whole game. Like, this kicker was at Notre Dame, but he didn't play football. He was a soccer player, and now he's a kicker. And I just love it, Mike. I just love his story. And then the whole talk about how Dak says "Here we go" in his cadence, but I'm thinking how long till the defense gets the timing of that too? Don't you think they would figure it out too? I didn't understand that, and the fact that now he can see the offense better because they got the cadence right. I felt like that was a bit of a stretch, or did you like that story?
Nah, that bored me.
Yeah, I feel like they were trying to make something out of nothing. It worked for him today. There was a few years ago where Derek Carr would say, we're good. And that was his cadence. But I just would think Philly is going to figure out all right, when he says, "Here we go," it's one beat and then they snap the ball. I would figure out that timing. It doesn't seem like he changed it up in the game, but I don't know. I don't know. We spent a lot of time on that today.
I think now you and I have spent too much time talking about it.
Us, too much time speaking about non-essential things about the game. That's not the show I know. I invented something called the awards for every week in the NFL, for Christ's sake. Speaking of which, before we get to the awards, because that was week 37 in the NFL, or is it 14? I don't know. It's week 14.
Yeah, week 14.
Before we get to the awards, it's time for trivia. And I got a game for you, Omar, because Christmas is
Do it.
coming up. So I don't know if you're familiar. We play this game on my Running It Back series on the channel. And it's called the Rotten Tomatoes head to head game, where I give you two movies and you got to guess which one has the higher Rotten Tomatoes score. But the theme for this game is these are Christmas movies that don't necessarily involve Christmas. So,
Okay.
so we're not really in the Christmas like home stretch yet. You know, today's the 10th. We're not there yet. So these are movies where just Christmas is in the movie. However, not a Christmas movie. So here we go. Here's your first matchup. First movie that is a Christmas movie that doesn't involve Christmas: Die Hard versus Lethal Weapon.
Okay.
Lethal Weapon has that weird Christmas day scene, but Lethal Weapon happens in LA, so it's still sunny out. It doesn't feel like any sort of Christmas. Same with Die Hard. Somehow they're having an office party on Christmas Eve. I never understood that part in the movie. Like, you never have your office party on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, but,
So you got,
these guys were doing these guys with this party and at Nakatomi. Remember, a lot of Japanese
mhm.
business people. So who knows if they even celebrated it? And there's a lot of blow. There was a lot of blow back in those
Right.
days. And
hmm
did they even know it was the 24th?
Yeah, yeah. What was that character's name in that movie who's like, show him the watch? Oh, Ellis. Remember Ellis?
Ellis,
He's
Ellis,
like, it's a Rolex.
shut up. Hans, Booby,
This is radio,
put the
not
gun down.
television.
Yeah.
Right. I'm gonna have to rewatch that movie. I think it's on one of the streamers. Like, I have to watch it. All right, your movie's Die Hard versus Lethal Weapon. Which one has the higher Rotten Tomatoes score?
Die Hard.
Die Hard, 94%. Lethal Weapon, 80%. You're one for one.
Yep.
All right, next round. Your movie is Eyes Wide Shut versus Rocky 4.
Ooh.
Now, you'll remember
Rocky.
Eyes Wide Shut, Cruise and Nicole Kidman go to that really weird Christmas party. And in Rocky 4, he fights Drago on Christmas for no money.
I will say that I think this is actually kind of easy. I'm going to go with this was Rocky 4.
Okay, Eyes Wide Shut, 76%. Rocky 4, 39%, Omar. I don't know why you went Rocky 4. I thought you were going the other way for sure.
No way. What were the people thinking on that movie on Eyes Wide Shut? That movie was terrible.
I am inclined to agree with you. That movie doesn't make any sense. You have to watch it 3 times just to get a handle of who the characters are in that movie. And then you have to watch the weird orgy scene like 5 times to see like what exactly is going on here. I think maybe you have a little art house Stanley Kubrick critics bump in that score of 76 because it really should be 66, to be honest. Everybody wants to bang Tom Cruise in that movie.
Yep.
It's strange. And in Rocky 4, I mean, no, the critics don't like Rocky at this point. Rocky 4?
No.
You're not going to give him any love. He went to Russia and fought for no money. No wonder he went broke in Rocky 5. All right, last round. Your movies are Gremlins versus Edward Scissorhands.
Gremlins.
Oh, no
They're called
hesitation on
classic.
that one.
No hesitation. No hesitation.
Wow. All right, the classic Gremlins is 86%. Edward Scissorhands, 89%. Ooh, you went 1 for 3 in this one. Gremlins. Yeah, doesn't that guy give him the little gremlin for Christmas as a Christmas gift? Something like that. That was one of those 80s movies where I saw the cover of the video at Blockbuster Video for years before I ever actually watched the movie. I never knew what the movie actually was, but I knew the cover.
Back in the day when we paid so much attention to the rental covers.
Mm-hmm. There was a few like that where I'm like, you know what? I've never actually seen Men at Work. Remember that movie? I was like, I've seen this cover for 20 years in Blockbuster. I've never seen Men at Work. I've never seen whatever, Outbreak or something like that. Like, but I know the cover. That was an era that, I mean, kids aren't just going to know these days. They don't know the art of roaming the aisles of rental video stores looking for something. They don't know it. Jade. Nope. Remember the cover to the movie Jade? I'm like, what the hell is going on in that movie? Jesus. At some point, I'm going to watch that movie. All right. That was the trivia game, but that leads us to the awards for week 14. First award, best quote. I got 2 nominees that I found interesting today. Watching the Raiders-Vikings game, there was a point where the Vikings got a fumble and the defense did a celebration in the end zone, and they did a mock keg stand in the end zone where they held the guy upside down and like he was doing the keg. And Mark Sanchez is looking at it and he goes, I'll explain that to you later to his partner. I thought that was pretty good. Mark Sanchez and his broadcasting partner really had to work in this game. They're talking about the Vegas Sphere. They're talking about how Vegas is nice in the wintertime. There was nothing to talk about in this game. It was.
I will say that I don't have any quotes because I didn't really watch football today. I just really caught some radio, things, but I didn't really watch much today.
Oh no? You caught the KC game in Dallas and that was it?
Yeah, that was pretty much it. I saw a little bit of the 49er game, but I had kids basketball games and I'm kind of under the weather. So it was actually kind of a nice break.
I think we have a strong chance of being overserved in football this year. How close are we to getting I think there's just too much.
You just said we're in week 37. It seems like just yesterday we were in week 13.
Yeah, I think there is a chance of saturation with all the football that's going on. And this year has been weird. It's a strong possibility. I'll explain that to you later. Mark Sanchez. Here's my other 2 nominees. Chris Collinsworth had a good quote about Dallas and Philly. Sometimes you have to bully the bully. I thought that was a good quote. And finally, this was also in the Dallas game from the referee. His quote was, "There are 2 fouls, both on the same player." I never heard that call before.
That's pretty cool.
Those are my 3 nominees for the day. I'm going to give it to the ref. I think I thought he nailed it. Which one of those 3 do you like?
I like the same player.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That was a double whammy. He got the pass interference penalty and the 15 yards on top of that. What a rough rule to have to implement. Next award. This is the Hot Take Award. I got 2 I'm going to give you 2. First hot take is, the zone read play that all the teams do? I'm going to give that is the most boring play in the entire
game. It really is.
They either hand it off or they don't, or the quarterback runs it. I can't wait for the era of football where we say oh yeah, remember we used to do a zone read all the time? Oh, we don't do that anymore. The draw play. When's the last time we saw a draw play? It's just not in the offense anymore. I can't wait till the zone read is gone. It makes me feel
Yeah.
awkward when the quarterback tries to pull the ball away from the runner. So take
It's
out
such a
the zone
dangerous
read.
play too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't even know if it works. When's the last time zone read got a touchdown? So I got that. And I also got that I think Philly's gonna lose in the first round of the playoffs. It's my hot take.
Quite possibly. Quite
Hmm.
possibly.
Those are my two nominees. And I'm gonna go zone
Oh,
read. I just don't like that play.
I hate to say it, but I'm saying the 49ers will beat the Dallas Cowboys in the NFC Championship game. I'm saying it right now. But
Wow.
if we were to lose to the Dallas Cowboys, it is going to be on a last second 62-yard field goal by their kicker.
Jeez. Yeah, the kicker who plays soccer at Notre Dame.
All right.
Oh, you know what else was the only exciting part of the Minnesota Vegas game was at halftime? Vegas was doing this thing how there's going to be a rugby game in the stadium like in 3 months or something, and they brought in the rugby players to talk about it. That was the most exciting part of the whole game was the rugby players walking around with their oversized football talking about rugby. Keep in mind it was 0-0 at that point in the game. Unbelievable that game. I'm gonna save. I have one more thought on that game. I'm gonna save for later. Next award, the best innovation. I have one nominee, and it goes to Trevor Lawrence's doctor. I don't know what he did, but he got Trevor Lawrence's ankle from him howling in pain 6 days earlier to start an NFL game. So whether he did it in a good athletic tape wrap, whether it was a shoe, whether it was a pain injection, whether it was stem cells, I don't know what it was, but Trevor Lawrence's doctor gets best innovation of the week for me.
Very good. I like that. I'll agree with that one.
Okay. Next award, cringeworthy award. Of course, a 0-0 halftime score, very cringeworthy. But what's even worse is a starting of the fourth quarter, also 0-0, is even more cringeworthy.
That was, I mean, that may be in the cringeworthy of the year
Oh,
award. I'm going to go with cringeworthy in the helmet treatment displayed by DK Metcalf and Patrick Mahomes in their
oh
respective
yeah.
games.
A lot of helmet slamming today.
Yep.
Do they have to um do they have to remove those helmets from use after they slam it like that with all the concussion protocol? If you slam a helmet like that, won't it void its protective abilities after that? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure they just put it right back on their heads.
Definitely.
You know, another cringeworthy award I'm going to give out is I really find it cringeworthy when, say, it's 4th and 2 or 3rd and 1 or it's getting down to the 2-minute warning. The offense is lining up and they're calling calls. And then right before the ball's about to be snapped, one of the teams calls a timeout. And then you're like, oh, okay, now we got to rehuddle. Now we got to, like, I hate that. I hate when it just sort of builds it up and then they call a timeout. And then we got to reset. And then I got one more cringeworthy commercial edition. Did you see the Derek Jeter commercial for, I think it's for Lincoln or something. And he's going to take a private jet to get home to his family. But then a weather report comes in that they can't fly. So he gets in his Lincoln and he drives to see his family, and his like supermodel wife and kids are there waiting for him. And I'm like, yep, you're going to take a private jet? Are we supposed to feel sorry for you? Or supposed to be like, wow, you're Derek
Right?
Jeter. What a family man. Couldn't take his private
Yeah,
jet, so he took a Lincoln Navigator to
he's
see his super.
such a good man.
Such a good guy. If you're Derek Jeter and you have to drive, you have a driver. You're not driving yourself. I don't buy it.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, oh, what am I gonna do? I can't take a private jet. I gotta get in my luxury SUV. That was my other nominee for cringeworthy. That leads us to best costume design. This might surprise you. My best costume design comes from the Broncos Chargers game, but not actually the game. Because at halftime, they inducted Antonio Gates into the Chargers Hall of Fame.
Oh,
And
that was nice.
he was wearing this like really sharp pinstripe powder blue blazer. that looked really, really slick. And not to be outdone, right next to him, Philip Rivers was wearing gym shorts and like a sweatshirt.
He's great, isn't he?
Philip
Hey,
Rivers is just America's dad.
guy's got 11, 12 kids, man.
Yeah. Yeah. He looked like he was like, I'm just gonna wear my shorts. And Antonio Gates looked sharp, like he was just some sort of hip James Bond out there in a powder blue suit. So I give him best costume design of the week.
Debo Samuel when dressed as Debo from Friday. That
Oh,
was
he
my
did?
best cop. Yep.
Like going to the game?
Yep.
Oh, that's good. I got to look that up. Debo.
Yeah.
Did you get your 49ers beanie yet?
Not yet.
That was high on your list.
I'm going to be getting online soon to see what I want to be buying. I got Super Bowl gear I need to be buying.
What about the big life-size Brock Purdy cutout that I texted you earlier in the week that I saw?
It's coming.
You
it's
did
coming.
order it. You're going to have a Brock Purdy cutout.
I will.
Wow. Yeah, that's got to be right up your alley. You already got the. Oh no, you don't have the jersey. You have a McCaffrey jersey.
I do. I'm thinking of getting the road Purdy.
Oh really? You're a road jersey guy. You'll buy one of those?
Oh, I think there's a few I need to get from my collection. I want to get I want to get a Ronnie Lott red, and I want to get a Jerry Rice white.
Wow, how many jerseys do you own?
Several minor ones.
Really? Jeez.
Yeah.
All right, so let me give you a hypothetical.
I don't wear them. I don't even display them. I just hang them up in the closet to never be worn again. And every now and then I'll go and hug them.
That's sick. You're a sick man. Let me give you a hypothetical. All right, you're going to go to a home 49ers game, and this is regular season. What is your attire to attend the game?
In San Francisco?
Mm-hmm. Home game.
I go in my home game. I go in my jeans, sneakers, my Montana red.
Okay. Okay, playoff. What are you gonna wear for a playoff 49ers game?
49er thong.
49er thong. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite possible that game's gonna be, in January. I mean, it's West Coast, but it's not warm. It's not tropical.
Just as long as it isn't cold, buddy.
Okay. Wow. So you're gonna wear a 49ers thong. No shirt? You're gonna go shirtless?
Shirtless. Let's do it.
Okay, let's say the 49ers make the Super Bowl and you're going to the Super Bowl watch party. What are you wearing to the 49ers in the Super Bowl day of?
Tuxedo.
Really? What kind of tuxedo? Do you have something special? You're just going straight black tie event?
Black tie with a 49er logo pin, and that's it.
Oh, wow. I like that. Tuxedo. Headgear? Or
classy.
Just as like you're going to the Oscars? You're dressed to the nines.
I'm dressed to the nines like an owner.
Oh, wow. In a tuxedo, though? That's insane. I hope the Niners go to the Super Bowl just so I can see that.
It's a power move.
Wow. This has been very, very enlightening. I'm glad we had this discussion during Best Costume Design. All right, next award, Advice Alley. I've been saving this one, and it's time. My Advice Alley, Las Vegas Raiders. Go ahead, put Jimmy G back in because we're going to draft a QB next year. Let's make a run at Harbaugh, and let's trade Renfro. The only shot we had at points today, Renfro gets inside the 30 and fumbles the ball. The guy is a shell of himself. So put Jimmy G back in. Who cares? Let's let him play. Doesn't even matter.
Well, on that note,
we need a quarterback.
My advice on that note is going to be the Raiders need a petition for a 12th man during plays.
What do you mean? A 12th man during play?
11 They obviously couldn't do anything with 11 on the field today. Maybe just if they were to
Oh,
have one more player.
kind of like we're like like a group of younger kids has to play an older kid team, so they're like, all right, go ahead, you guys can have 12 because
Exactly.
yeah, you're so much littler than us. Yeah, I'd be for that too. If you think about it, the Raiders are really, really a depressed franchise. Like it's almost up there with like the Browns, where it's just like, dude, this is a great franchise. Why are we so bad? Why year after year? Why are we like maybe this will be our quarterback? Maybe this will be our coach. Cleveland did that thing where they listed all the names of quarterbacks they had over the years, and it's like 20 quarterbacks. Raiders are right up there with all the quarterbacks they've had. It's insane.
Yep.
And it's depressing that they're this bad that they can't put up any points. Every year and a half, they fire their coach. I would love, they got to get hard. They got to try for Harbaugh. I don't know if he'll go for it, but they need an established guy. Don't you think? Who's
I
out
agree.
there that they would get?
And do it.
I don't know. It's rough. Get rid of Renfro. I was so high on Renfro 2 years ago, and now I hate him. I really hate him.
It's his time. It's Pat. Just blamed out too early.
I guess so. And they got to draft a QB. They have to. They have nobody. Jimmy G isn't gonna turn into Joe Montana. He's not walking through that door, Omar. Jim Plunkett isn't walking through that door.
Nope, he's not.
Damn. This has been a rough year in more ways than one. All right, that was Advice Alley. That leads us to the Sunday double feature. I got two ideas. One of them is that Kelsey play inspired. And I got Varsity Blues, like when they do the last play of the game where they give it to Billy Bob. It reminded me of that play. So I went Varsity Blues. And my other nominee, given there's so much parity in the league where I feel like every game, every week is a surprise ending, I went with the Crying Game, the ultimate surprise ending. Those are my double features.
I am going to watch on Netflix tonight World War II from the front lines. Going to go
Really?
Educational tonight.
Jeez, documentary Carmona.
Yep.
Are you a World War II guy, or this just struck you?
History, just in general. Very general.
Just history in general you appreciate.
Yeah.
Is there a World War II movie that you might say is your favorite? Are you a Saving Private Ryan guy?
Yeah, obviously a Saving Private Ryan guy.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Me too.
I also liked The Darkest Hour.
Oh, I haven't seen that. Do I need to see The Darkest Hour?
It's a good one.
Okay. All right, you might be talking me into it. I like that.
Yeah, it was good.
What I've been on like a submarine kick lately. Like Crimson Tide, The Hunt for the Red October, U-571, very underrated. People made fun of me that I liked that movie. I liked it. Submarine movie, I'm into them.
Oh, interesting.
No on submarines, huh?
Nah.
Oh, come on. All right, last award. Who won the week? My nominees are Josh Allen, Joe Flacco, maybe just quarterbacks in general. How about this nominee? How about the Chargers fan base? Because Staley is definitely getting fired after tonight, right?
Yeah.
He's got to be, right?
He's done. He's done. But
he went for it on fourth down 4 times. Didn't get any of them.
Yeah, terrible. But to me, the winners of the week are the Dallas Cowboys. They needed that win over their arch rival.
Yeah, that was big. Dallas Cowboys in general / Dak. Maybe Mike McCarthy deserves a little congratulations for putting a good team out there. Oh, I have one more Chargers thought when it comes to Herbert, who got injured today again. It's year 4 for Herbert. We still haven't really seen that one big win from Herbert. So here's my question. Is Herbert this generation's Jeff George? Is it sacrilegious to say that right now?
Yes, it is. That's not even funny. He's a lot
What
more
has he
talented
done?
than no. He hasn't had a team.
Okay,
So
I'll go with you on that. But like, what would you say? The guy's got a big arm. Okay, what's next? Is he
um,
running? Is he a competitor? Is he? I'm waiting for it. I want him to be good. I haven't seen anything good from him.
well, he's a lot better than Jeff George. Give me a break.
I'm worried. I'm very worried, Omar. He might be this generation's Jeff George. If he gets in a fight on the sideline with his coach, I'm going to be very, very worried, okay?
All right.
I hope not. I hope not, but I have not seen anything from Herbert other than he throws the ball all over the field and sometimes his receivers catch it and sometimes they drop it. All right. Who did you have for who won the week? You went with Dallas, huh? Surprises me. A
Dallas.
49er fan and went with Dallas.
They got big win.
Okay. All right. Those were the awards for week 14 in the league. That leaves us one and only one. Wait, no, it doesn't. There's 2 Monday night games tomorrow, Omar. Whoop, sorry, wrong button. Why are there 2 Monday night games tomorrow? But we're back to the. Are we overserved with NFL on a Monday?
Yeah, but let's just do it.
All right, first game is Tennessee at Miami. Pick the game.
Miami big. Miami by 20.
Okay. Second game, Green Bay at the New York Giants. The surging.
This is going to be a good one. I'm going to go with Tommy DeVito. He's going to get his win against the Packers.
DeVito, huh? You're going hometown? DeVito get a slice on the way to the stadium? This year has been so unpredictable that I am willing to put money down that there's no way Miami and Green Bay both win tomorrow. One of these good teams is going to lose. And I'm worried it's Miami. I really am. So I'm going to go with Tennessee and I'm going to go Green Bay tomorrow.
Okay.
That's my
pick.
So
we're opposite. Cool.
We went opposite, yeah. Are you still not watching Hard Knocks on the Dolphins?
I did. I saw the first one. I got to watch the second one. I like what I'm seeing.
Yeah, it's great that we have a Hard Knocks team that's actually good. And we're following through all their wins and all their awesome plays and stuff like that. And I didn't think I would like the coach. I like the coach now of Miami. He's cool.
That's awesome. I like him a lot too.
Yeah, maybe this is the Miami year. Maybe, although now I'm worried. I picked against them tomorrow night. Tennessee. If Tennessee beats Miami tomorrow, are we just going to pull our hair out and be like, I don't understand NFL anymore? I think I would. And then Green Bay and the Giants. Jordan Love can't win 3 games in a row, right? Can he?
Right. I think so.
You think so? Okay. God, why are there 2 Monday night games? We'll never know.
I'm just going sympathetic. I like Tommy DeVito.
Yeah. Oh, and did you see the commercials? Is it this coming Saturday that there's 3 NFL games?
Yes.
Jesus.
I love NFL Saturday.
NFL Saturday. 3 games. Are you more of an early game guy or a late game guy? Like on a NFL Sunday, would you rather sit down for early or late?
I like the later games.
Oh, really? I go opposite.
Yeah.
I go early.
Too many going on at the same time.
Yeah, that's true. They stagger them that there's a lot of early games and only 3 late. And then apparently they're on Saturday now too. It's too much. They need to get NFL Sunday Ticket and you can have it on your Apple Watch. That way you can just peek at it on your wrist and go about your day as the day progresses. It's too much. You have shit to do, you know? All right, that was week 14 in the NFL. That was Omar Carmona, who's battling through, I don't know what you have, typhoid?
I'm just out of this game, man.
That was the Sunday Night Talk. Thank you, Omar. I'll see you next week. That's it. That's the episode. That is the Sunday Night Talk for week 14 in the NFL. I want to thank Omar Carmona for toughing out his illness. Look at that. He doesn't miss. He still makes the show, even if it was just phoning it in. We had the audio. That's all you need. Dallas is the big winner today. 2 Monday night games tomorrow. Can you handle it? Do you have enough energy left in you? I'm going to try. I'm going to really try. Hey, don't forget, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe to it. All my stuff is up here. I put up a new running it back interview on Tuesday with comedian Misha Paulin. Go check it out. It's up there on the channel. Not to mention all my stand-up clips are there and my other series as well. Movie series. Previous weeks of the Sunday Night Talk and all my interviews. So, week 14 is over, except for tomorrow's Monday night games. How's your team doing? If anything has taught us a lesson this year, it's to not give up. Look at Denver, everybody. They're the little team that could. A lot of games left. Thank you, everybody, for listening. For Omar Carmona and for me, Patrick Ramirez. I will see you next week.